Hey, all right. So I come from the corporate space. I spent 25 years in sales working at some really big technology companies, um, running sales teams upwards of 70 people. So I spent, like I said, almost 25 years in the corporate space working for global manufacturers, having a lot of fun selling. And so I thought I knew how to sell. I thought I knew everything about how to sell. And I got into the digital marketing space by default or by necessity because I had to, because a client of ours failed and cost us about $85,000 in marketing spend. So here's what happened. So in 2017, I launched a company called Alert Squad, software-based security device, amazing. All the features on this things, the things that it could do. This little button, the little keychain button that went on your key fob, or you could put in clothing somewhere. That little button would trigger a lot of different things. One, it would, if you double clicked it, your phone began to record audio and video. So I designed this for my daughters in mind. They still are. I had $2 in their 20s, and I had seen a news story about a real estate agent being raped showing a home, and I wondered what could have been done to help her in that moment. Well, when you think about it at the time, nothing until the person was done sexually assaulting her. But she talked about there were some weird signs, things that were happening while she was showing this house. And it gave me an idea for a software. And so created a software. Um, a bunch of people were added into the software as emergency contacts, the main one being 911, 999, whatever the service is where you are, it was the police. And so what the software did was, the software, like I said, 2 clicks on that little button, it would record. So we're recording audio and video. If we held it down, and it wasn't for long, it was less than a second. If you're holding it down repeatedly, we engaged our emergency process. So our emergency process was, first and foremost, we dialed 911 from your phone. So that real estate agent showing that house in less than a second, without this guy knowing, her phone would have dialed 911. Her phone is in the house that she's showing. The police would have got a call, and they could have heard her screaming. They may have heard nothing. Anyway, they're going to respond to that 911 call. So 911 was engaged, and immediately after 911, we send out a text alert to her squad. So we sent a text alert to her squad, which could have been, 5 people that needed to know that she was in an emergency situation. In that text was her location. Her exact location was in that text message. So this is a software I created with a Bluetooth device that was connected to it. And, 25 years of sales, I knew how to sell this. Out of my budget, my startup budget, I had about 120,000 for sales and marketing. I contacted a local agency in town and said, "Hey, look, here's what I've got." They said, "Come on down, let's talk." We talked it out. We spoke it out. I needed a site built, and I needed some creatives. And once we got the site and the creatives and all that branding stuff done, so this year was about, out of my 120K budget, this year was about 10K. Once we were ready, we used this agency. I won't name them. If you're watching, you're a turd. We used this agency to now go out and run ads for us. So they started running social media ads. Between the 10K and the ads, in just 11 months, and $85,000 in spend of that 120, $85,000 in spend. This was a $35 deal. They did not sell one, none. They did not sell any devices. We were $85,000 in after 11 months, no sales. A lot of excuses up to this point. We're going to change this. This is what we're going to do differently. A lot of things. So mind you, I come from a very corporate background running sales. My business partner, Angie, who's a part of this offer, Angie spent 20 plus years on the marketing side. So I'm sales. She was marketing with companies like Hewlett Packard, HP, whatever they may be. And so she's got 20 years of marketing experience. I have 25 years of sales and marketing experience. And I thought for sure we knew what we were doing by hiring the right agency because they became highly recommended. They worked with a lot of folks. Couldn't turn any sales. $85,000 worth of spend in 11 months and not one sale. That was the crazy thing. So I cut bait with those guys. Should have done it a lot earlier. In hindsight, I cut bait with them and knew that I could not use them moving forward. Well, a big epiphany I had was that folks who were raised in that corporate space and corporate marketing space were using very old ways of marketing in a new world. I mean, we're in a social media world where we've got LinkedIn, we've got Google with Google ads and YouTube ads. And now you get into the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the TikToks and the Snapchats. There are so many ways for a client to reach, or a manufacturer or a course creator or whatever it may be, to reach their audience using social media. I didn't understand this back in 2017. I got an $85,000 lesson and I did not understand this, and neither did the expert. The expert didn't understand this either. They had no clue what they were doing, which forced me to dive into this myself. So I started buying a bunch of courses. All told, between courses and coaching in 2018, so going into 18 and 19, over like a 6 to 8 month period, I probably spent about $25,000 on courses. 25K in, a lot of time invested going through all these courses, a lot of hands-on experience, trial and error. Angie can tell you the same story. Trial and error, 25K, learning, jumping into groups and asking questions. A lot of different things were going on here to learn how to do digital marketing. I knew how to sell. I know how to connect with people. But you got to get to the people first. That was the problem. This company was not getting us to the people. It was not getting us to the decision makers. So that was $85,000 wasted. Sure wish I would have done this long before I spent that. But I look at, there's so many corporations out there, so many companies that have marketing people on staff don't truly understand marketing. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but I want to tell you about one guy. Rob, I'm going to apologize. If Rob sees this, I apologize to you. But we had a VP of marketing at a company. So I was director of sales at a company. We were doing about $350 million a year in sales. So $350 million a year in sales. I ran sales. Another guy, Rob, no last name mentioned, ran marketing. Rob was very old school marketing, East Coast colleges, MBA at some East Coast university. Rob was right on every decision he made. That's Rob's ego. That's another problem. Ego gets in. Happened to me too. My ego should have cut bait long before $85,000. I believed in these guys. My ego said I didn't make a bad decision. I did. Rob's ego got in the way, and Rob knew best on marketing. I was at this company for 8 years. For 3.5 years, he did things one way, his way only. He wasn't helping grow the company. He wasn't helping us position ourselves in a way that was different than our competitors. One day, here's Rob. Rob thought we should build we were an ed tech company. He thought we should build our image around the color yellow. Listen to that, guys. He thought a color, yellow, using branding and all these different things was what was going to help grow this company. So I had the ugliest pale yellow shirts. I mean, they were pale yellow with green script across them that he had created. All of our people were required to wear our company branded products. Yellow shirts, green text, everything was yellow. Our company marketing initiative was built around a yellow color. So this is a corporate company, a $350 million company with a budget. I know his budget was 3%. 3% of sales went into the sales and went into the marketing budget. So do the math. So 3% of this annually is what went into his marketing budget. And we built a big marketing initiative around yellow. Felt educators were going to connect with that. Corporate companies would connect with that. They didn't. We went this way. And one day I'm at a trade show. I'm done being yellow. I'm done being this. I can sell. I'm done being this. I'm at a massive trade show. There are thousands of attendees. And in my booth was our product. So we had this big digital whiteboard. You know, you write on the digital whiteboard, it shoots out the projector, and it's on a big screen. So I'm writing here, it's being shown here, or it's being shown on my computer screen. This technology, the way it was built with a hard surface. You can use digital marketers on it. But the big fearful thing, and I ended up working for this other company called Smart. Smart was the number one in our business. So Smartboards, if you've ever heard of them, which I ended up going and directing sales at, Smartboards were number one. They were number one in this industry with the boards. Kicking our butt. We're 350 million a year in sales. They're 1.5 billion. Killing us. We're doing everything we can to get an extra dollar. They don't have to do anything but take orders. That's how it was for them. But I knew, I don't have one with me. These are dry erase. There's a thing called a Sharpie. Now a Sharpie, let's put a little there. A Sharpie is a permanent marker. I knew that a permanent marker on a smartboard damaged it. It would never come off the smartboard because of the urethane membrane they had on the outside. That would never come off. It would never come off. Our board was a hard surface that actually I could take rubbing alcohol and spray on that board. Sharpie came off. I could come back a month later, spray over that, and the Sharpie would wipe off. Sometimes it would take a little longer because it had been there forever. It will never come off a smartboard. My light went on at a trade show, yellow company. My light went on at a trade show, thousands of people there. And I walked up to one of the ladies that was sitting in the front row and I said, "Hey, do you have a board in your classroom?" She said, "I do. I have a smartboard." I said, "I'm going to hand you this Sharpie. Can you write on your smartboard with that Sharpie?" She's like, "Oh, no, absolutely not." I said, "Right, you can't. That's going to permanently damage your product." "But what grade do you teach?" I think if I remember right, it was 4th or 5th grade. I said, "Do you trust your 4th graders around your board?" She goes, "No, I don't let my kids use my product. My board. They can't come up." I was like, "Okay, there's a reason why." She's like, "Right, I don't want it damaged." I said, "So if your 4th grader's mad at you and takes a Sharpie and writes it all over your smart board, you're in trouble." She's like, "Right." So these things at that time cost about $5,000. I said, "You've got a $5,000 device sitting on the wall that you can't use. Do me a favor. I want you to go up and sign your name on our board." She's like, "What?" I said, "Do it, please." So she took the Sharpie, walked up on stage, hundreds of people watching. She wrote her name on the board. Said, "Thank you." Took the Sharpie back from her. She sat down. I did about my hour-long presentation. And I'm speaking to everybody and I'm talking and having a good time. And, all these people are interested in what we do, but we're still trying to beat these guys. And I said, "Oh my gosh, I forgot one thing." I looked at the lady in the front row. I said, "That's you, right?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Here, let me show you something." So I walked over and I grabbed the dry erase board cleaner spray, or I could have used Windex or anything. And I sprayed it over that and you could see it start to run. And I grabbed my hand towel and I just went across the board right here and I cleaned it up and it was gone. And I turned to look to everybody out there in the audience and I said, "You don't have to worry about our product being damaged. I can run keys across this. I can have kids write Sharpie on it." And everybody there was like, it was just a massive wow. So that was my hook story into our offer. Our offer was this. And so I started to learn my hook story offer using it in person with people. And we quickly shifted from the yellow company to the Sharpie company. Our website talked about how we are Sharpie free. You can permanently Sharpie. You can use a permanent marker on our product. It's going to come off. This shift to this grew us exponentially. We started eating into their market share, which is why they came knocking and wanted to know if I wanted a job with them. So I learned digital marketing and the hook story offer myself. But I didn't know how to get in front of And I'm going to tell you what this means. You're a business owner. You're a corporate marketing person. In order to gain market share, you've got to hit your people with a hook, right? And then you tell a story about that hook, and then here's your offer, whatever that may be. I manufacture in-home wine machines or in-restaurant wine machines. Well, my hook is your bottles go bad. If I'm a restaurant and I've opened an expensive bottle of wine for somebody, but only pour one glass in a couple of days, that wine's no good. So if I'm a company that manufactures wine machines, I tell that. How many bottles of wine do you pour out a year? It's a hook. Are you wasting money in the wine business? Well, the story is we were too. And that's his story, this gentleman that I business coach. We were too. We were wasting money in the wine business. And one day I had a thought and started creating and building these wine machines. Well, the wine machines, tube goes in it down to the bottom, and there's, I forget it's not gas, but there's something that removes oxygen so the wine doesn't oxygenate. It doesn't die. The machine that he built and the system that he built keeps wine in there. I mean, they can have an expensive bottle of wine in there for 30 or 60 days. It won't age on them. Somebody can come back with their card, stick it in, buy a glass of that expensive wine, and off they go. And then when the bottle empties, they replace it. So they started building these wine machines, and here they are. Well, he started doing it. Problem is, this corporation didn't know how to get this offer in front of clients. So I started coaching him on the digital marketing stuff, but I had to learn the digital marketing myself. So in 2019, I jumped in. 2018, I jumped in, started learning all this stuff and started testing things. I took old school ways of selling Sharpie to a yellow company, a yellow brand, changing the messaging, but I had to do that in a digital way. And so I started to learn the digital marketing space, Angie as well. And in doing so, I learned a lot. It cost me thousands and thousands of dollars to learn how to connect with people online in a way that was compelling enough for them to go to my offer. And the reason I bring that up is, so we started this company, Angie and I, we started a company called MarketX. And under MarketX, we have an agency. So remember that agency I was talking about that builds sites and does their things? We started that. We built our agency. So our agency is called Xtreme Funnels. In fact, you can find it at xtremefunnels.io. That is our agency. We build sites for people. We build high converting, fantastically branded sites. We're working with some big folks. We're working with a major agency out of New York City, and we build sites for people. We build sites for the company that launched the Kardashians, and we're building sites for a lot of their folks. I can't give you names because I'm under an NDA with them, but the clients that we work with, they're big names. You've heard about them, and so we design their funnel, even their websites. We design those for them. But all this knowledge, 25 years of sales and marketing, Angie's 20 years of marketing at major corporations, HP for one, we brought in. We both understand digital marketing. We've made hundreds of thousands. Well, actually, we're over millions now in the space. In the last 4 years, we've turned over, probably over $2 million in revenue with small ticket offers. Because we took all that history, our 25 years of schooling, and learned how to do that in a digital marketing way. And that's where we came up, with our agency. But so many folks we talked to wanted to hire us to run their marketing at their companies. We don't have the time for that. That'll eat up a ton of our bandwidth. And so we talked it out. So MarketX, Xtreme Funnels, I'll leave it up there. We talked it out and we built a course. So we have a digital marketing course that teaches you everything from A to Z on what we've learned along the way. And I bring this up in a way that, and you'll be able to see some of that in the course when you click below. So here's our course. So if you go to, let me do that right, xtremecourse.com, you'll see our digital marketing course. We have an offer there. at xtremecourse.com. You're going to see Angie and I, and you're going to see what it talks about and what's included in this course. Everything from social media, ads, SEO. I mean, we get deep off into the weeds on a lot of things. So I was explaining this to somebody. I'm explaining to you. And in fact, if you watch the video on the landing page for Xtreme Course, I'll explain how you can use digital marketing in a way that changes the game. The vast majority of businesses I talk to are not using digital marketing. They're just not. They don't have a branded Facebook page that they're actively using to build a customer audience from. They're not driving any kind of social media ads. Start with Google. Think about this. Volkswagen, VW. So if I go and look at a new Volkswagen Jetta, I'm on Google, search for Volkswagen Jetta. I come back into Facebook. Within a few minutes, if targeting is done right, I should start to see ads from either Volkswagen or Volkswagen dealers. Google and their cookie, I'm on Volkswagen. I pop back in over here, Facebook and ads and targeting and Instagram ads and and TikTok and Twitter and all these other LinkedIn, all these other platforms. Somewhere on that social media feed should be an ad for a Volkswagen. It's going to be a dealer or it's going to be Volkswagen themselves if somebody's doing their social media marketing right. A lot of folks don't understand that. So they don't run ads based on the cookie and what people are looking at. So these are some things we teach. But here's something that I want to tell you about that you can do. So let's say I'm that wine guy and there's a food and beverage restaurant industry trade show in Las Vegas. They have them a couple times a year. So there's this trade show and it's food and bev, restaurants. There's going to be 1,500 vendors at this show. So the vendors will be on the trade show floor. And let's guess 25,000 attendees. Oh, that's not a dollar sign. It's 25,000 attendees. So 1,500 vendors, 25,000 attendees, and it's a 2 or a 3 day show. You, the company, me, the company, we're going to put a booth up. We're going to spend 10 to 20 grand just to be in a small booth there between electric, the booth space, our marketing creatives, whatever it may be. We got to pay the union to run all the electricity, maybe the internet, all the different things. So maybe, like I said, maybe for this trade show, it's 10K to 20K. We're going to go with 20K. It's Las Vegas. So maybe it's 20K to be there. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to spend 20K to be there. We're going to pay 5 people to be there. So that's flights, hotels, what else? Food. So all that comes out. What's the cost going to be? Let's say 5 people to be there with hotel, flight, and everything is $2,500. So now we've got, I got to do the math here real quick. 10, 5, right, so 12,500. We got 12,500 just in fees for these folks to be there. Fees, 20K to be there. So let's do the math here. 20K, 12,500. And what else? Any other costs that we're going to have associated with this? Maybe some few incidentals, whatever it may be. Boots up, 5 people in the booth, 25,000 attendees. And now we've got to cross our fingers and hope these people show up to our booth. Hopefully the marketing team, hopefully the marketing team has created something that's going to attract people walking by to stop at our booth. If you're not Smartboard, the #1 in the industry, if you're into Right Learning, our company, and you're trying to get smart audience, you can't have a yellow booth talking same old marketing strategies with people as they walk by. You can't. You got to change the game. So as I explained in the video on the Xtreme Course site, the game is, so let's say, okay, so I've got 32.5 sitting right here in budget. So I've got 32.5. And I knew that I had to spend X to be there, whatever. I've got all these people here, 32.5. What if I reduced this down to 2 or 3 people? And maybe of the 20K that I spent because I had to have a booth designed and those other things, maybe I don't go as fancy, and maybe I take 5K out of that spend. So now over here, I've got 5K I'm removing out of this. And if I remove 2 people from this, I'm down to what, 7,500? So I've got 20 or wait, 2 people less. So that's 5K less. So I bring this budget down 5. So it's a 10, 2, 5, 10. So 10 grand. So I've got 22.5 in actual spend, and I've got 10 grand extra. This was budgeted. Pull back a couple of people, reduce the creatives, and gives me $10,000. I've got $10,000, and I've got 2 days at this show. So I've got 5,000 a day times 2 to spend on something different. This is where digital marketing comes in. I now have $10,000 to spend over 2 days, and you know what I'm going to do? I know that I am at this hotel right here, and within a 2.5 mile radius, all the way around 2.5 miles, are all the other hotels. These hotels within 2.5 miles are housing 25,000 people. 25,000 people are in for a show, are in for the food and beverage restaurant industry show at the hotel that it's taking place at. Within 2.5 miles, I've got 25,000 attendees. Using some strategies and the right digital marketing people, I can run an ad that shows up on Google, Facebook, LinkedIn. Where are these people going to go on social media while they're in town? They're going to hit these sites. Maybe I just want to focus on Facebook. I can run a Facebook ad with $10,000 in ad spend that will hit all these attendees that says a hook story offer. Stop by our booth. We're in booth, 1017. An ad says, stop by and see the amazing Kevin at this booth. And here's why. You need to know hook story offer. What's going to hook them? Tell a little story about it in a really short ad, written ad. Stop by our booth. We're giving away, cut this down to 5K in spend. We're giving away $5,000 on the last day of the show, or $2,500 at the end of each day of the show. Come by and win $2,500 at 4 p.m. because we're going to do a live raffle. Everybody that shows up at this booth, think about this. We've done this stuff, not with ads back in the day, but I've done giveaways that you had to be at the booth. And it was a massive giveaway. We're giving away $25,000 worth of classroom technology. You got to be at the booth at 4 p.m. Everybody showed up, got a ticket. We had people screaming at these shows. There was a show that we used to do in Palm Springs with all these educators. There's probably 5,000 educators at it. And I remember one year I was giving away $25,000 worth of classroom technology at that booth. And I had hundreds of people surrounding this little booth screaming. I had them screaming our company name. Everybody on that trade show floor could hear them screaming, and it started drawing people in. What's going on over here? And they came over and everybody got a ticket, and we gave away $25,000 worth of classroom technology to one person. Don't go away. I'm going to give away one more. Our cost on this was really low. Did it again because everybody got to keep their tickets. Now they're all screaming and they're super excited again. 2 people won. And I told them, come back tomorrow at 4 p.m. We're doing it again. So for the 3-day show, gave away all this classroom technology that cost me really not a lot in spend, but everybody showed up. I did that the old school way by creating buzz, engagement at the trade show. The new school way is I can run ads at people, ads at 25,000 people to stop by our booth. We're giving away $2,500 worth of cash. We're giving away an X, whatever it is I might be doing, but I can literally run Facebook ads at a trade show and have 25,000 attendees hear about me without having to stop by the booth. So instead of spending all this money and crossing our fingers and hoping somebody shows up at booth 1017, I'm running ads at everybody in attendance here on Facebook. And so when they log into their Facebook in the morning, bing, stop by booth 1017. We're giving away X. It does this. Well, there's a reason for them to come by now and register to get in that giveaway, that drawing, and collect their name and get them in your marketing hopper, because you've collected all of their names when they scan their badge at your booth or whatever it may be. So a lot of different ways that you can use digital marketing. So we created a course that teaches a lot of this and then some. Creatives, ad spend, all your social media stuff. There's a ton of stuff that's available in that course there. So the beauty of this is we took 25 years of sales and marketing experience in the corporate space with Kevin, 20 plus years of marketing experience with Angie, all that knowledge that we already had, we already knew. We took all that knowledge and we built a course that teaches you how to use that knowledge in a digital marketing way. Branding, funnels, traffic, affiliate marketers. Oh my Lord. In this course, we're teaching you how to use affiliate marketers to sell your brand for you. They become your marketing arm. Did you know about the affiliate marketing space? I have one client who does $1 million a day in sales in affiliate marketing. It's not even his own product. He has a massive email list and he sells $1 million a day worth of product of somebody else's product. Somebody else's product to his audience, a list that he built. He's doing $1 million a day in sales. Think about that. That's 360. He's doing 365 million a year in sales that he makes a commission of 40% on by selling somebody else's product as an affiliate marketer. There's a part of the course that talks about affiliate marketers and marketplaces and where you can find these people and how you can build offers to have other people sell your product for you. They're just a marketing arm for you, a sales arm for you. So trust me, in this course, you're getting 45 years of traditional sales and marketing experience and almost 5 years combined of digital marketing, how best to do it. So right below is a link if you want to know more about it. Click on Xtreme Course down there, walk through it, and come into our world. We're going to teach you everything you need to know, and we're going to connect you with some of the people. We don't do it all. We have some people that do some stuff for us. We contract with. We're going to connect you with our big hitters, people that can help you grow your business online. I don't run social media ads anymore. I have people who do. You're going to get access to them. So that's the Xtreme Marketing course that we created. The link's below if you want to know more about it. Appreciate you.